Howdy friends, this is PelicanMan bringing you another Death and Taxes video on Magic Online. So, Neon Dynasty's just dropped, and I've been sitting here for the last few hours refreshing Card Hoarder, Mana Traders, going to the buy bots, the sell bots on Magic Online, and I finally managed to acquire some of the new cards from Neon Destiny, so we're going to give them a spin here. You might recognize this list as kind of my go-to list. The few upgrades we've got an Eiganjo Seat of the Empire over one of our, basically over a basic land slot, still supporting it with 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons, Flagstones, Trocaire as a one-off to Ghost Quarter, and then a bunch of basic planes, 3 Horizon Canopy, and an Amiri's Call for our white sources. Our colour sources are my current go-to of 4 Ghost Quarter, 2 Field of Ruin, 2 Mistress Factory. Then for the 1-drops, as usual, 4 Give of Runes, 4 Bile. For the removal package, we're still on 3 Path, 3 Skyclave, 4 Solitude. I can't remember if these are the numbers I ran last time, but this is about where I want to be. It could be that maybe I want to go down to 2 Path up to 4 Skyclave. Maybe I want to go down to 3 Solitude, but it's like somewhere between 3 and 4 of each of these 3 cards for a total of 10. So this is what we're going to be playing with today for our removal. For our 2-drop creatures, as always, we have Thalia, Arbiters, still my go-to, and Stoneforge Mystics. Then in the 3-drops, we've got the Flickers, and again, the Skyclaves, and the Solitudes. And then for our equipment package, we have our Keldra and our Battleskull as usual, and normally we would have more of the Skyclaves as a way to fly, which is, I love more of the Skyclaves giving my creatures flying, don't get me wrong. It is the reason I go to it rather than sort of Fire Ice generally. But the highest selling point of it is that we can tutor up a white card to pitch the Solitude. So today, instead of it, we'll be testing a new card in Lion Sash. Originally, I was going to test Lion Sash in the sideboard, but because I realized that Maul's biggest selling point is honestly being a white card to pitch the Solitude, I figured Lion Sash still serves that role while also being able to upgrade and being main deck Grave Hate, which is pretty relevant in almost every matchup in Modern. So here's Lion Sash. It's a main deck Grave Hate. It's get equipped to other creatures, which is really cool. For those who don't know what Eiganjo does, it has Channel for 2 and a white, discard it, deal 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature, costs 1 colorless less to activate for each legendary creature you control. So it's a 2-mana removal spell with Thalia, but it's also just a white land, so the cost of running it's pretty low. And then the sideboard is kind of what I've been running with recently. We have moved to Auric Champions because I keep versing Burn, which probably isn't going to be that relevant this league because I'm honestly expecting to verse a lot of like Titan, 4-color, and basically any deck that wants to run Beseiju is what I'm expecting. But yeah, so we trimmed a Sanctifier to do that, and we trimmed a Rest in Peace, and over the second Rest in Peace we're running a 1 Kataki, 3 Relic Water split. Normally this would be 2 Relic Water, 1 Kataki, but I actually do like being able, or 3 Relic Water, sorry. But I do actually like being able to run the full 4 of this effect, because we've also got, you know, a bunch of pro-red, we've got the Draft Magistrates for the Cascade matchups, so I think this kind of covers our sideboard pretty nicely. The one thing I will say is, going down to 2 Sanctifier, I'm not a huge fan of, but if I wasn't doing this, I would be running, if I wasn't running the Auric Champion, I'd be running 4 Sanctifier, so it's kind of doing the same thing. Or at least that's what I think I'd be doing with this sideboard. The other option is to run some equipment in the sideboard, like maybe Blind Sash does go in the board, then I will put more of the Skyclave back in main. Maybe there's other equipment like the 2 and a white 3/2 flyer that you can reconfigure and you can't lose the game, your opponents can't win the game while it's equipped. That might be interesting for the Belcher style matchups, the really unfair matchups. But also with Neon Dynasty, with a lot of what it's doing, I think the artifact decks might be pretty popular. So the 3 Relic Water, 1 Kataki's probably pretty reasonable. So that's the list. Actually, before we get started, let me just, because we have Kataki and Thalia, there's probably not a lot of opportunity costs. It's probably pretty free to just run an Eiganjo Castle as well. Going down to 6 base planes is fine because we're not really, like, we just get to run 30 base planes because we have no good sources. So I might try an Eiganjo Castle. It's not like running Castle Ardenvale and a number of basic planes matters, but protecting, you know, Kataki from Galvanic Blast might actually be relevant in this kind of list. So yeah, let's go with that. All right, let's get onto some games. Alright, we found an opponent for round number 1. We've on the die roll, so we get to be on the play. This hand's pretty mopey. We don't have any turn 1 or turn 2 plays, so we'll mulligan. This hand's about the same. We have no whites here. We've got a mulligan. Yeah, we'll keep this one. So playing turn 1, give it turn 2 Thalia. I'm not a huge fan of pathing this hand. And I kind of want to keep Skyclave for our removal now. So let's keep this. We'll go Cave the Frost Dragon, give Reverence, and pass. Alright, our opponent leads Mistress Bauble. They're targeting themselves, they're getting some information on their fetch. Steam Vents into Ragavan, okay. I thought they should be pretty good here. Should stonewall them pretty well. Solitude's also nice. Alright, play out Thalia, and we'll pass it back. Alright, our opponent plays a Spy Block and I'll just pass it back. They can't attack into a Thalia and give Reverence, which is nice. They're in an Arbiter. Yeah, it's probably better than nothing. Our opponent looks like they're trying to cast something. Unholy Heat on Give Reverence, huh? Sure. Just gonna let that happen. So Arbiter comes down. Do I want to attack with Thalia? Probably not. I want to make them remove it. Otherwise I can just block their Ragavan. So we'll just pass back. Another Spy Bluff Canal. No attacks. Alright, we'll take a turn. Aether Vial, okay. Something we can do at least. Alright, Spell Pierce, fine. I don't think I want to attack with anyone still. Yeah, I'll just pass it back. If I can draw a land and play the Skyclave, I can start getting in. I just don't want to let their Ragavan hit. Even though Ragavan's not the best against us, it's still not something we want to let happen for free. Another Arbiter's actually good. If they draw a fetch, it turns it off. What is this? Just cast. Sure, opponent. Opponent's just sitting here doing nothing, so they've probably got a handful of interaction. But I'm guessing it's all counterspells and not removal. That's what their deck does. Their Aether Vials are really, really good. Murktide, sure. Darcy, sure. Another Arbiter. I think I am going to play out this Arbiter. So we have the option of, like, holding this up to pitch to the Solitude, which I think I actually just want to do this before they get to untap. So yeah, we have the option of pitching this and being able to, like, potentially Skyclave next turn. But I like the upside of this turning them off any extra mana. Okay, evoke trigger on the stack first, the removal second, so it removes and then it evokes. And we'll pass back to our opponent. Okay, expressive iteration. The Surveil bins another expressive iteration. Okay, so they put Murktide into exile, that's a good sign for us. Ghost Court is nice. I'll destroy their Steam Vents. Not that it really matters. I'm still just going to chill. I just want to keep them off fetches. I don't want to offer to trade an Arbiter for a Ragavan, I don't think. Okay, Lightning Bolt with Thalia. So now at this point of the attack with Ragavan, I would trade it for an Arbiter. Now that we don't have as much protection with having a Thalia in play, I think I'm fine with losing an Arbiter. I think just the board control we had before was really good. So I think they did that on purpose to make their Darcy a 3-3, but that's fine. Yeah. I'm just going to path now so I can start getting in. Again, like paths, I bottomed a path obviously because it's just bad in the blind, but path's still really good for me to have Arbiter. Oof. They end up with enough cards in their grave again to cast a Murktide. That's not good for us. Just got to pass it back and hope we can draw a Solitude or a path sometime soon. So it's a 3-turn clock we're on. So I have Arbiter out, so the Stoneforge doesn't actually do anything, so I'm just going to hold it. In case I draw a Solitude, I'll pitch the Stoneforge to it. Alright, opponent shocks into Steam Vents. That's definitely not a good sign for us. They dash in Ragavan. Well, I'm not dead to that. Okay, so what do they hit off the top? Go to 1. Aether Vial. Sure. And they're going to cast it. Alright. I'm going to crack Horizon Canopy now because I need to be able to use this mana to cast a path if I draw it. There's our Lion Sash. Show me Solitude or Path. Okay, it's Keldra. Let's go to game number 2. We should have pretty good sideboarding here. So, Forge Tenders are good. Sanctifiers are good. We could also potentially bring an Auric Champion, but this isn't really an Auric Champion matchup. So that's kind of where Auric Champion and Sanctifier diverge, is Sanctifier is still good against the blue-red decks, whereas Auric's good against, like, they're both good against the black-red decks. Sanctifier's good against the blue-red decks, but then Auric Champion's good against the burn decks, where, like, I might actually not bring Sanctifier against burn. Probably still with bringing something fire against burn. So what's bad here? I think Arbiter's potentially fine. Thalia's fine. We like Vials. Paths are kind of a necessary evil. Gives really good. Flicker Wisp is fine. Flicker Wisp actually gets to flicker Murktides and shrink them down to 3/3s and then trade with them. Skyclaves are really good. I think it's just Arbiter then. Arbiter's just not at its best here. Yeah, let's do that. Just cut Arbiters and run it back. Alright, let's hope we don't have to meld the 5 this time. I can keep this. Definitely keep this. I'm going to leave the Giver of Runes because it's the biggest upside. There is some value in playing at the Forge Center, so the Thalia definitely lives, but I actually just don't want to sacrifice the Forge Center to protect the Thalia is the problem there. Yeah, so because we get to untap... Ooh, I'm actually going to play out the Vial of the Forge Tender here. Yes. Just because, like, this Vial coming down as early as possible is really good for us. So this Darcy's pretty well stonewalled by these two. The nice thing is we can actually protect our Giver of Runes with our Forge Tender. Which last game they just threw removes, but our Giver and then got to remove everything else. Are they dashing this Rayman? No, they're just casting the Rayman. That makes sense. Okay, back to us. Tick up our Vial. Ooh, we drew Stoneforge. So I don't think I'm getting Lion Sash here because I just don't care that much about their graveyard. Because I think Kaldra is just going to win, right? So let's just play Stoneforge. We've got 2 things to protect it. Maybe I do just get Lion Sash, because I can just play out Lion Sash, potentially. It's either that or the Batterskull. I don't think I need the Batterskull. Let's just get Lion Sash. Alright, we're going to pass back to our opponent. So the one nice thing about having had Keldra in our opener is that means we can get something a bit more fun with our Stoneforge. Our opponent's in a lot of trouble now. This Keldra is going to end them pretty quickly. And I can actually vial in the Lion Sash, which is cool. We're getting EE. The EE for one's pretty good against us. Problem is it's also going to wipe their board, and I also have Keldra, so... I would have loved to have drawn a white source there, so I could hold up activating Lion Sash. That's fine. Let's just activate Stoneforge. Put Keldra into play. Attack for 5. That makes sense. They're going to pop the explosives anyway, so they're just going to save themselves 2 life here. Alright, and because they've got the EE, I'm just going to chill here. There's no point doing anything like putting Giver of Runes into play or whatever. So I'm going to give the Stoneforge Pro Red in a response. If they throw a Bird Spell in response, I get sacked Forge Tender, so this just gives me some amount of value of the 1-drops before they go away. They're shocked in a Steam Vents, okay. There's going to be a Dash Ragavan. My 8th Vial went away. I was meant to Vial in the Lion Sash. I'm an idiot. Okay, E on 0. I don't think this works how our opponent wants it to. Hey, I forgot my Vial was going to go. I should have Vialed in the Lion Sash. Because it is a creature, so you can drop it in off an 8th Vial. So I can drop Lion Sash in off Stoneforge, so I might just hold that up. So my opponent's popping their Engineered Explosives, which is fine because our Germ is indestructible. Alright, they scoop it up. We get to go on to game number 3. Is there anything we want to change? We did see Explosive, so Revoker has a little bit more relevance. But they will just throw a Burn Spell at the Revoker, so it's whatever. Rally Quarter could be fine, but I think like we just Skyclave is our Rally Quarter for the few artifacts they have, so we'll just run it back. Okay, this hand's really good. We've got turn 1 Giver, turn 2 Stoneforge. We will keep. Opponent fetches for a Steam Vents. They have a Darcy, that's fine. They have a Bauble. Baubling us, sure. And we draw a Field of Ruin. Just play out the Giver. And pass back. With how we're flooding out here. Yep, Bolt and a Giver. With how we're flooding out here, it'd be nice to draw Emeria. Emeria's Call, just so I could pitch it to Solitude. Jeez. Flicker Wisp, okay. I'm just going to play out Stoneforge Mystic. We're just going to get Lion Sash here. Just start picking apart their graveyard and shrinking these Darcys. And this might mean that they ignore our Stoneforge, which if they do, next time I'm just going to flicker it and get the Batterskull, I think. What? I don't know, they're evoking Fury just to kill Stoneforge? That is insane. I'm tempted to Solitude one here, but I can just chill and hold up the ability to do that still. Oh my god, there's a Murktide? Okay, I'm definitely going to Solitude the Murktide. They've got 1 card left in hand. Alright, so we're going to use all the Flicker Wisp. Even though, as I said before, Flickers can flicker the Murktide and then trade with it, I think. We do this and then play a Lion Sash and start eating things, I think we're in a good spot. Oop, like Ganjo. So that's another option, is like an Eiganjo to kill one of these Darcies. I think I just need a Lion Sash first. Is that right? Oh, maybe I don't. So if I hold off, I get access to more white sources to be able to eat more things. Whatever, let's just play the Lion Sash. It's nice that we have options in our two new cards here. So I'll exile the Mishra's Ball because it's going to be the hardest for them to replace Artifact in their bin, and it's still a permanent to put a counter on our Lion Sash. So they have no cards in hand. Oh, we're just looking real nice here. There's the Emiria's Call. Play out Field of Ruin. And I think I'm going to start getting aggressive with the Lion Sash. We're going to exile the Murktide for another counter. And then I think we're going to exile the Bolts. Oh, no, I'm going to exile the Leg because I want to get it out of Bolt range. Okay. Get in for 4. Pass it back. We are holding up the ability to activate Mishra's Factory to block with. Was this Expressive Iteration? Ooh, EE for 2. Okay. That's pretty good for our opponent. Let's surveil a Murktide into the bin. Yep, pop it straight away to kill our Lion Sash. And they're freaking 3/3s again. That's so gross. That file's not the best draw. I think I'm going to draw a card here. Plains, okay. We're just dead. I can use Eiganjo to kill one of these, but the other one is just lethal. Yep. Our opponent's got it. I wonder how many engineered explosives there are on the board, because they drew 2 last game, right? Oh, that's match number 1. Let's get on to match number 2. Alrighty, we've won the die roll yet again. We haven't really seen very good opening hands, which is the weakness of playing the Arbalist over an Esper Sentinelist, right? This hand looks really good though. We're going to keep. So we've got the strength of Arbiter, so there's potential to draw like parts from Ghost Quarters to work well with it. We've also just got our favourite turn 1, turn 2 play of Giver of Runes into Stoneforge. I mean, even the Solitude looks good here, because if we need to Solitude something, we can just pitch the Skyclave. Alright, Ketria Triumph from our opponent. Ghost Quarters, an insane draw. Yes, we'll play at the Stoneforge. Shooter in Caldera. Ketria Triumph means that there's a good chance that they are the Rhinos deck, like the Cascade deck, or they might just be full color Money Pile. Either way, I think this Caldera is going to be very good for us. We might even hold off on the Caldera for a turn to deploy the Arbiter and Ghost Quarter them, depending what they do here. Forest into Ren 6 from our opponent. This makes me think they're Money Pile. Which I think if I just Caldera and kill the Ren, I'm in good shape. Oh, what? Mercury. I don't know why they did that second man. I think they were trying to like catch us F6. So there is the threat of Solitude. But I think that's almost more reason to get Caldera next. It just means that the Stoneforge might get dealt with. I mean, if they had Solitude though, they're Solituding the Stoneforge, so it's fine. We will take out your Ren 6 opponent. Alright, I was just checking. They pitched a Ren 6 to their Fury, so if they have another Ren 6 here, then I don't actually care. They can't get any value off of it. Cycling Tranquil Thicket. Flooded Strand, okay. And play out the Horizon Canopy in case I want to draw a card. Let's go to combat. So attack with the Stoneforge here, because they have nothing, right? They might have an Ice Fang, so this might kind of force them to pop their fetch and put an Ice Fang into play. It's unfortunate that we can't really get value out of the Arbiter here, because they'll just fetch in response. And then they'll have 2 mana to pay for the Arbiter, so I can't really Ghost Quarter them. This does still choke their mana in that it forces them to kind of leave up 2 mana. Yeah, to force them to shock here as well, which is good for us. Abundant Growth, sure. So again, that's why I attacked with the Stoneforge Mystic, in the hopes that they would, you know, fetch to put an Ice Fang Coddle into play so that I could have Ghost Quartered them. Looks like our opponent's happy to just leave 2 mana up here. Aether Vial doesn't matter, but I'm going to get to hold up Solitude. So let's go to combat and attack with all. We could leave Stoneforge back as like a way to pretend we've drawn another equipment, but I'm just not going to bother here. I'd rather get our opponent down as low as possible. Because now, no matter what they do something, I can just flash in this Solitude and that's lethal by itself. Alright, our opponent scoops it up. Let's go to sideboarding. So they're 4-color Money Pile, so I like bringing in Forge Stem to protect from the Furies. And that's about it. Maybe I could bring in Sanctifiers, just as something that they can't Fury. What don't I like here? I don't Up is fine. Thalia's not at her best. But they do have some spells, so Thalia can be fine. There's a very good chance I just want to cut all my Thalias. Also, Lion Sash doesn't really do anything in this matchup. I suppose it's good against... I might leave it in just because it's probably good against round 6. Let's cut the Thalias for these, I think. Maybe Sanctify is just not good in the face of Ice Fang. Let's just bring in Revoker for the Planeswalkers. Let's do that. Alright, run it back like that. Alright. This hand's really good. I'm going to keep. Big fan of this hand. One issue is that we're probably just going to play Eiganjo, who's a land here. But that's part of why it's so good, because of its flexibility. I would hope to just rip lands and not have to do that, but even with a Vial, I'm still going to want to get lands into play. Our opponent's just chilling over there. Alright. Yes, I think I'm just... Do I just play a naked Lion Sash here? Probably not. I probably want to Vial it in. Let's just play out Forge Tender. And we'll Vial in the Giver in the end step. To hopefully dodge some removal. Knight of Autumn. That's pretty rude. So they're almost definitely blowing up 8th Vial with this trigger. Yeah. In response, we'll Vial in the Giver. Show me land. Path to Exile. Yeah, I'm just going to play out the Lion Sash. Just pass it back. Okay, Expressive Iteration. So that Knight of Autumn's kind of ruined us now. Our hand looks very average for that 8th Vial. Would love to draw a land, so just drop in a Flicker Wisp here. Okay. So they drew a card, they put Snowcard Forest in exile, they play the forest, they're casting Abundant Growth. Lightning Bolt the Giver. I'm going to let it happen just because I'm more scared of Fury. And this puts another permanent in the bin to grow my Lion Sash. Oh, they're just attacking with their Knight of Autumn. That's fine. Alright, we drew the land. So I'm going to Flick Wisp, flicker up the plains, and hold up Path, and the ability to activate Lion Sash. Let's go to combat first. Get in for 2. Right now, we'll play the Flicker Wisp, flicker up plains. Alright, I'm just going to hold up the ability here because I might actually want to exile a land from their bin if they have like fetch land plus Wrenn. And my plan is to reconfigure this onto the Flicker Wisp, I think. Alright, there's the Wrenn. Shooting Flicker Wisp. Yeah, I think that's fine. I just don't want to get blown up by a Fury here. I'm not going to sack Forge Tender. Maybe I could have pathed Flicker Wisp. No, I don't think that's right. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. It's a weird brew of our opponents. What are you searching for? Caldra Complete, of course. I don't think it matters. I'm just going to exile my 8th Vial. Oh, we drew our own Stoneforge. So we Stoneforge, we get our own Caldra. We already have our own Caldra. Okay. I think that's still a reason to do this. Get the Batterskull. So I think I'm going to let them use their Stoneforge to put their Caldra into play, then path the Caldra. We probably had attacks there, but I actually think the Lion Sash is going to keep the Knight of Autumn back, potentially. So yeah, game plan here is to survive to next turn to be able to drop our Caldra into play. Ooh, that's a good spreading seas from our opponent. So I just have to path. Jeez, I can't even path now. I suppose that means I'm just going to grow the Lion Sash. So I will get hit with this Caldra, but then I can drop my own Caldra, and if I draw a land, I can even move the Lion Sash onto it. No, what are you soul shooting? Not the Lion Sash. But actually, I suppose the soul shoot the Lion Sash. Yeah, I get to keep my Stoneforge, and I get to gain 3 here. They're ephemerating. Far out. This is a huge blow. This spreading seas was really, really good for our opponent. Absolutely insane. And they're doing that instead of putting the Caldra into play. Really rough. Yeah, I think it's just flicker the plains again. Just hold up the ability to path them again here. Yeah, that spreading seas was such a blowout. They're targeting their Stoneforge. Let's see if they want to activate it in response. No? Okay. We got Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, I'm just going to let Wrenn kill the Flicker Wisp. Even though Forge Center doesn't look good in this build, I just have to assume they've had a Fury in their hand this whole time. Omnath, okay. In response to that trigger, I'm going to path the Omnath. It's the one upside of it drawing a card when it enters, is you get to kill it before they can get their landfall triggers. I'm very probably dead to this Caldra and this Sword of Fire and Ice, but yeah, I don't know what I can even draw here. I'll just play out the Giver of Runes and pass. So if we draw a land and we can resolve this Batterskull and it lives, we might be okay. I don't understand why they're refusing to put this Caldera into play. They revealed Ren, okay. Ah, they're going to double ping the Giver? That's clever. But they're still not putting Caldera into play. Sure. I don't get it. Drew the land. Let's play the Batterskull and see what our opponent does. Yep, that's game. Let's go to game number 3. Looking at our sideboard again. So what do we see? We saw like Prismatic Ending, Expressive Iteration, Ephemerate, Rens. Maybe Thalia's fine in some number. Because of Ren though, maybe it's also not, but maybe that makes Flicker Wisp worse too. What if we trim like a Vial, a Wisp? Let's bring it back in like 2 or 3 Thalias. Maybe trim another Wisp, because they have a lot of ETBs. Let's go with that. Alright, we get to play first. Okay, this hand's pretty greedy with the Aether Vial. I'm just going to keep. They can't Night of Autumn me till like turn 3 and I'm on the play, so I can get some value out of it before then. They could have Prismatic Ending though. I should have mulliganed actually thinking about Prismatic Ending. Gonna be Prismatic Ending. Oh, gross. We might have just lost the game because that's. Yeah, forgetting about Prismatic Ending might punish us here. It's going to be a Ren. Ugh. Revoker naming Ren's probably good here. No, it's just Stoneforge. Get Batterskull, Lion Sash. Let's get Lion Sash. Fetch with their Windswept Teeth. Like Abundant Growth. Prismatic Ending the Giver. I guess I'll pro-red the Stoneforge. Okay, they buy back their Windswept Teeth. If they have a third Prismatic Ending, I'm gonna shit a brick. Let's just kill the Ren. They've already got a lot of value out of it, but they get to ult it, that's even worse for me. Like, that's just game over with the endings in the bin. They bought Yorion? Okay. And they played the Wooded Foothills, even though I know about their Windswept Teeth. So, I think what I'm going to do here is hold up Lion Sash. I could Arbiter and hold up Path. Yeah, maybe Arbiter hold up Path's just better. This also forces them to crack their fetch here. Yeah, I'll get him with Stoneforge as well. Put our opponent on a pretty quick clock. It's just going to be a Yorion. Sure. Path in response. And they scoop it up. Alright. That's dope. Hell yeah. Alright, so we're currently 1-1. Let's get on to match number 3. Match number 3. We've lost the die roll. They're going to keep 7. We can't keep a 1-lander. Oops, very good. But we'll keep. We'll bottom the extra Ghost Quarter. I mean, this hand isn't like that good, but we've got Eiganjo and I'm excited to test it. Spire of Industry, okay. Another Giver of Runes, that's actually pretty good. We'll just Plains, Aether Vial, and pass. If we can get both of these Giver of Runes to resolve and lose Summoning Sickness, we're in a pretty good position, I think. Okay. Everyone's got Urza Saga, Ornithopter, so their Affinity, probably. Ooh, nice. They're testing out Moonsnare prototype. Love that. That's pretty good. Cranial Plating into play already. Mirror is cool. Okay, so I'm going to play that in as a tap land and put a Giver into play and pass. The reason I'm playing as tap land here is because I want Eiganjo to be my spell land. Having the Solitude, yeah, maybe I should have just kept it to pitch to the Solitude. I'm actually kind of hoping to hardcast the Solitude though. We're going to make a construct, so like killing this Gauntlet is not even... Yeah, I'll just let them hit 4. The more I think about it, I probably should have held the Moose Call, but I think here I want to play like Ghost Quarter and use a Eiganjo. Alright, we've got 2 Giver Runes in play now, so we just need to find creatures. While ticking up, we found another Solitude, okay. Even more reason to want to try to get to like 5 mana or the Vials on 5. Just pray that Eiganjo is good enough. It's a 5/5, but it doesn't fly, so we can always just like block with Givers and use Givers to protect each other. As long as we keep this, we can Eiganjo this Ornithopter, we might just be okay. I really like this, that their Cranial Plating is just tapping their Moonsnare prototype. I mean, if they've made Needle, they're probably needling Giver of Runes here. Not much I can do about that. Otherwise, they're probably getting Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear is pretty good. Yeah, it's the Shadow Spear. So if they have a land drop, they're probably putting it on the Ornithopter. Okay, so they're attacking with Ornithopter. So we'll discard Eiganjo to kill the Ornithopter. There's still a lot of trouble. There's 2 giant constructs. Oh, they go sack Welding Jar. That's pretty. I still just don't think I'm interested in pitching a Solitude to a Solitude. I can keep these constructs, but if I can get to the point of resolving these solitudes and keeping the creatures, I'm really far ahead. Okay, I'm going to pitch a solitude to a solitude next turn. Fine. Yeah, I was going to say, surely they put it on a construct. Man, even just having a Flicker Wisp here would be so nice. Flicker one of these solitudes. Getting in with all. Block like that. This giver will give that giver pro colorless. And this giver will give that giver pro colorless. Yes. And then pitch a solitude to a solitude. And go away on it. Our opponent gains a bajillion life, but we don't take a bajillion damage, so that's fair trade. Alright, so we take 5 at the end of all that. That's kind of okay. Okay, another Moonstone prototype. That's alright. Don't be a thought monitor. Oh, you can't because it has to be colors. That's fair. Yep. Move critical plating onto that big boy. Am I going to have to pitch this? I'm probably going to have to pitch this Solitary, right? So they attack with both. I block. I do the same thing again. I might have to pitch this Solitary unless I draw like Flicker Wisp or something, and then I can Flicker. Skyclave would be good as well, but I can cast those. What's the? I suppose there's not really any punish to come to Violet at this point. Field of Ruin, so I can't even pitch the Solitude. I think I'm just dead. I think I might just be dead. I suppose we'll see what our opponent does. They're just straight away getting into combat. Let's start by blowing up their land. Getting one less artifact in play. Okay, they're going to turn it into a treasure. So if I block, it's still trampling over for 13, isn't it? Okay. Let's go to game 2. Thankfully, we have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup. So 3 Relic Water, the Kataki, and 2 Phyrexian Revokers. Don't like Arbiter because they only run like 1 or 2 basics anyway. Thalia's pretty slow. Maybe this is a matchup where I want to trim Lion Sash, but I think still being a white card to pitch to Solitude makes it reasonable. Maybe it's Vile. Maybe a Giver. Maybe a Wisp. I'm not 100% sure, because I think I like Paths and Skyclaves and Solitudes. I don't want to trim any of those. Batterskull just seems fine. I definitely want Keldra. Having 2 Givers in play is really good in this matchup, and it's hard for them to deal with Givers, so I don't really want to trim a Giver. Because normally this is just how I'd board, and I wouldn't have the Kataki in my, like, access to the Kataki in my sideboard. What can Wisp do? Wisp just kills the constructs. Maybe it's just a Vile. Let's a Giver. As good as 2 Givers is, one Giver's still pretty good in this matchup. I could have trimmed a second Thalia, but maybe I just want to trim more Thalias. I don't know. Let's go first. We will mulligan the 1-lander, and we will keep the 1-lander with Aether Vial, I guess. Get rid of the Thalia. Our opponent's mulliganed as well. Okay, they're keeping 6 as well. Affinity shouldn't have an answer to Vial. If they do, then, I mean, mulliganing to 5 is also kind of just death in this matchup. Alright, it's a good draw. Play at a Stoneforge. So I'm getting Keldra. The other option was getting like Lion Sash and being able to Violet in, but Lion Sash, I suppose the one thing is Lion Sash pitches to Solitude, but that's what my next Stoneforge is going to grab. So I kind of need removal here for my Stoneforge. To go to Drum. They have the Galvanic Blast, okay. 3 cards left in hand. We draw Phyrexian Revoker. Huh. Yeah, I'm just going to play that and name it as a Saga. It can't name it as a Saga. That was foolish. I guess except the Saga, I'm just gonna name Shadow Spear. I'm so like I know I've been the whole time I've been, you know, playing Taxes on this channel. I have been playing Phyrexian Revoker, so I know this makes me look really stupid. But in my defense, I played a lot of Wurzer and artifact style decks in paper. Like, that was kind of my MO for a while in paper, so I'm used to Piping Needle. I'm used to being able to name lands. Urza Saga's not a land, let's be honest. Making the construct now, I suppose they want to use... No. Yeah, they want to use the drum mana. Okay, sure. Alright, in the opponent's end step, we will put Stoneforge Mystic into play. I think I actually... Oh, do I want to get Batterskull? Is it Batterskull or is it Lion Sash? It's probably Batterskull. So there is stuff there, like obviously Lion Sash can just pitch to Solitude and that's totally fine. Pick this up. The reason we need Batterskull is that in the hopes of eventually equipping this Batterskull to this Keldra, as ridiculous as that may sound. So they're probably getting Needle to needle my Vial here. They could also like needle Stoneforge, but if they needle Stoneforge or Vial and Skyclave, take out the needle and then yeah, I'm just gonna hang out. Because yeah, if they want to needle Stoneforge, then Skyclave can take out Needle, Stoneforge can drop Caldra, and I can surprise eat their construct. Oh, Aether Spellbomb. That's also pretty good. Dang. So I get the same line where I get to eat the Spellbomb with Skyclave and then drop Caldra, which I think is just what I have to do. Even though they can draw in response, it's whatever. Okay, they're going to combat. They're just attacking with Thought Monitor? Okay. Take it, I suppose. So now I'm just going to drop Batterskull then. Eat the Spellbomb. They could also technically bounce something in response, but I don't think... Maybe Thought Monitor, so they can draw more cards next turn. Just drawing a card? Sure. Let's get this Batterskull down. So if I drew a Flicker Wisp, I would be flickering a construct anyway. So I'd just be hardcasting, it's what I'm saying. So I am going to tick up towards being able to Violent Solitude. Giver of Runes, okay. Actually really good. Yeah, we'll just pass it back. So we'll actually use this Giver aggressively to pro-colorless out Batterskull to just start getting in for damage. Forcing them to have to block with Thought Monitor, if anything. This just seems to be my signature on this channel, is like getting into huge board stalls against Affinity. Yep. Thought Monitor gets in for 2 again. Galvanic Blast my Giver of Runes. Sure thing, opponent. They just put their Gigantha. And we will put a Caldra into play. We will indeed tick Vial up to 5. We drew Path? We drew Path. It's almost tempting to just path my own creature so that I can get closer to moving this Batterskull onto Keldra. Yeah, I think I'm just getting in with Keldra. Yeah, they're getting brave with the big boys. Oh, the Sojourn's Companion's coming in too, huh? Okay, well I'm happy to trade that off. Get rid of one of these. And I suppose we're going to respond to that with the path. Just so they only gain 10. So they hit for 2, but I gain 4. Oh, they have another Saga, of course they do. This is fine, I get to hit him with Caldra for at least a turn, right? They're playing out Gigantha. Okay. Okay, we drew the Plains, that's pretty good. So I think now I'm just going to chill and just wait for this 5th land. Because once I get it, the game's over. I just get to attack for free and block for free. Hopefully I do it before they get to make too many constructs off this Saga. This Thought Monitor just getting in. Ooh, another Stoneforge, huh? It's pretty nice. We will get the Lion Sash. We're just going to pass it back again. So now they can get Python Needle, and that's a problem. Because then they can needle out Batterskull, so we can't equip it to the Caldra. Okay, they get Shadow Spear. We have named it with Revoker, so that mistake from a million turns ago is paying off, I guess. I think they're trying to equip it here. Yep. That's certainly what that looks like. And it's just attacking the Thought Monitor again, I'm sure. If we can ever find a Flicker Wisp, we could really lock this down. Alright, our opponent's passing back. We are going to put the Lion Sash into play. So if we don't draw a land, we can always just like reconfigure this onto like the Solitude and start gaining life and whatever. Land. Okay, so that's a land for next turn. So I'm going to put the Lion Sash onto the Solitude. So this way, if anything happens, the Lion Sash falls off and sticks around, but we can also like potentially gain 4 off our Solitude. We'll pass back to our opponent. Next turn, we're going to move the Batterskull to the Keldra and start winning the game. What is this? 5 mana for something. Oh, okay. This is going to be the other mode of Moonsnare. Huh. They're doing it to the gem. Okay. I think I just have to let this happen. I don't think I really get a say in it. I could path it, but I think they're going to do a big attack here. I'm going to want to path something anyway. Sure. Put it on the top. Yeah, okay, so they had out. Like, It's annoying they drew the out before we drew our out, when our out was one of our 19 remaining lands, but what are you going to do? So they still have to think a little about these attacks. It's probably just going to be those three, isn't it? Okay, so block here and here. Those are blocks. Exile Moon Snare, Prototype. Jeez, the Queen Basketball's not even that good anymore. Maybe I just want to park one of their things. Do I just park this? No, that's definitely not right. Park this. Okay, so we go to 13. What do we draw? Another Eighth of Isle? Sure. Is there even any point playing that? Not really. I'm just going to move the Lion Sash. God, there's not even any point doing that, is there? Okay, I'm just going to pass. Yeah, I don't see any value in playing this Eighth of Isle. I'm just going to hold it. This Galvanic Blast my Revoker. Oh, come on. Sure. Our opponents drew pretty well for a deck full of 0 mana do nothings. Okay, we're dead to Cranial Plating. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. That was fun. Let's get on to the next match. Alright. Found an opponent for match number 4. This is actually interesting. We're going to keep it. It's not one I would... it's not one that's like on my list of like really dope hands, but like turn 1 Giver, it's turn 2 Arbiter to protect the Giver is interesting. And the fact we got double Ghost Quarter I like. This is a matchup where like it's pretty vulnerable, but it's fine. So worst case we get to turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 Arbiter and Ghost Quarter probably. Yep, Lightning Bolt for the Giver. They Surveil and leave the card on top. That's kind of scary. And then they play a fetch land. So there is definitely the option to play the Arbiter here to force them to crack this fetch, but I think I'm still just interested in playing at Thalia, which still forces them to fetch. Okay, we're going to consider leaving a card on top again. Okay, they just pass back. I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect that. Well, now this Arbiter just looks worse. Just going to play out a Flickwisp, I suppose. I'm guessing they're holding up Counterspell here. Petty Theft the Thalia. Okay. Flicker Plains, I suppose. Hope that they tap out so that next time I can Arbiter and double Ghost Quarter them. Expressive Iteration. They fetch immediately. Come on, that's got to be good for us. Castings in the Serum Visions. Binning Murktide. And Unholy Heat my Flickerwisp. Okay. Get in for 3, that's fine. Another Arbiter is interesting. So... could path this, but I think... No, I probably do just need to path it. So I'm going to block their Steam Vents and path their Darcy. So if they play a Murktide, it's kind of not great for me, but... Okay, shocking the Steam Vents. I'm not sure what this means. Okay, they do have the Murktide. Is this going to be like double Murktide? Murktide hold up Counterspell. Murktide hold up Arbiter activation, I guess. Jeez, it's an 8-8. And I've drawn nothing to interact with. And they can play this Brazen Borrower. Well, they can't currently play the Brazen Borrower, I suppose. Guess I'm going to play out the second Arbiter. Counterspell? Sure. Alright. Take them off the land and pass back. I probably shouldn't have even taken them off the land. They've got 3 mana. That's plenty for them. I probably actually should have kept my own mana. So that's fine. So yeah, now this Brazen Borrower was trouble. I don't think I can win. They have the Bolt anyway. That's fine. That was a very skewed game in their favour. So again, bring in Sanctifiers and Forge Tenders. How did I build last time? I kind of want to trim Thalia. Was it just... Did I take out like my Arbors or something? I feel like I took out like a playset or something like that. Alright, I did just cut my Arbiters. Seems fine. Yeah, cutting Arbiters seems fine. Alright, let's go with that. We will go first. Give a double Thalia? We will mulligan. Jeez, this hand's not ideal. We're gonna keep it though. Supposed to Sogi Test Eiganjo. I think I want to bottom a land. Yeah, just bottom plains. Alright, gonna start with Mishra's Factory here. The reason to start with Factory is that if they play Ragavan on turn 2, I can animate Factory, block, then pump it to a 3-3. Okay, we play a Darcy and a Bauble. Leaving that card on top. Ooh, Forge Tender. Thank you. We will play that. Pass it back. I'm wondering if I if I'm okay with just playing Eiganjo as the land next turn, or I want to hold it. I think because I have the Forge Tenor, I might be just fine to play Eiganjo. Ooh, wait, the Vial. Yeah, let's play out the Eiganjo, and we'll play out the Vial. There was an option to animate Factory and attack there, which isn't the worst. They almost definitely just have burn spells, like an Unholy Heat or a Bolt or something. Petty Theft, my Aether Vial. Okay. God, how many Brazen Borrows is this opponent running? They seem to always hit it. Feels like it should only be like a one of, maybe a two of. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get rid of this. It ramps our opponent, but it's going to save us a lot of damage. Going to save some card advantage in them surveilling. Another Solitude, okay. Play at the Vial. Get in. Potentially. No, I know they've got Unholy Heat. I was going to say, I potentially should have gotten it with Factory as well, but. Oh no, the Unholy Heat was in exile, wasn't it? It's probably still not worth losing a land when I've got two Solitudes. Like, I'm pretty happy to just get up to 5 mana. Shock me in again, okay. A for 1. That's so rude. Yep, got the Vial. I am going to play this as the land to start hardcasting Solitudes, I believe. I should have animated Factory, but I think I'd rather just play out Flicker Wisp. And I'm going to try and flicker their explosives just to force them to pop it. Yep. They've got 6 cards in hand. That's not great for us. Plus this Brazen Borrower. Yep, Bolt my Flicker Wisp. Yep, it's a big Murktide Regent. Land. Show me land. Alright, that's kind of a land. Yep, getting for 7 opponent. I could pitch a Solitude to a Solitude here, but they've still got 4 cards in hand. I want to give myself a chance of drawing a land here. Come on. That's fine. So what we're going to do here is cast the Flicker Wisp, flick the Murktide, and then trade for the Murktide. Hopefully. They have Counterspell. Of course they have Counterspell. Okay. Okay. They're going to bolt me. Then, God, they've got another Murktide. And they have a Counterspell. Yep. that's match number 4. Alright, currently 1 and 3. Let's get on to match 5 and see if we can regain some of our dignity. Okay, match number 5. On the draw, we've got Double Giver, Arbiter. We're going to keep. Opponent starts Kamigawa, so. Geez, that means they're the other Cascade deck. Let me just start with our Giver. We're trying, I still don't know what that means. Alright, we're going to play a Ghost Quarter. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I was going to say in case I draw another Ghost Quarter, so I'm just going to play Arbiter and only have 1 land untapped, so it's whatever. So they're going to be able to Cascade now. Oh, so there's a Pyromancer. Okay. Still not, like, amazing for us, but I suppose if they Cascade, they don't have many permanents in play, so this makes sense. Now, there is a consideration here to just take out the Calendar Garden, because I think the Cascade spells, like, the 2 that are commonly played both run green, but I don't know if this deck's running the blue-white one. If they are running the blue-white one, then I can't really take them off anything anyway, so I think it's just this. Just takes away their ability to use 2 Cascade spells. Like 2 of the 3 mana Cascade spells are turned off by it. It said they were paying costs, so I don't know what's going on. Do I just play out Thalia here? Surely Field of Ruining them's gotta be better. No, Thalia's better. I believe I'm pretty safe to like get in and protect with a Giver. Yeah, they're not even bothering blocking because of that. Okay. Play another Kelney Garden. Well, I think I'm just going to take out a Kelney Garden again. They do have the mana to be able to pay for it though. I suppose I'll get in first. Yeah, I'm just going to take them off green again, I suppose. Sucks that they can pay for it. Okay, so they have a basic forest. So if they have Shardless here, they can cast it and pay the Thalia tax. They have another land anyway. There's the Shardless. Awful matchups to be under the draw. Glimpse, yeah. Yeah, so... Oh my god, I'm not even... That's fine, opponent. That's fine. You got it. I can't come back from that kind of value. So... What do we have for this matchup? Not a lot, just Dranniths, I suppose. Relic Water might technically do something. They probably have Furies, actually, so Baron and Forge then is probably pretty necessary. I think I have to keep an Arbiter for the potential to just juke them. Thalia is pretty necessary. Skyclave shouldn't do much. Neither should Path. Lion Sash. I think we actually trim Lion Sash here. Because I don't think it's relevant, and pitching the Solitude's also not relevant. And I mean, we could probably just trim Batterskull too and just lean on, if we get a Stoneforge, it's only getting Keldra. Otherwise, I suppose we could trim a Giver. Let's trim a Giver and leave in the Lion Sash. So I'm not sure that it's irrelevant, so we'll just do it like Fractionary Revoker shouldn't do anything. Yeah, let's run it like that. Drowners should be pretty good. We get to be on the play here. We'll keep this. It's a Vile hand. We've got Arbiters and Thalias. It doesn't have like Dranids or anything specific, but it has Thalia, so I just have to hope that this can beat them. If it can't, then we just can't win this matchup. It's just how it is. Now, I don't think we saw fetches from them last game, but jeez, I want to get another Vile into play. The only way we get punished here is if they have a fetch land. So I was gonna say, I was just gonna play out the Arbiter, just in case they have fetch land to punish them. It's probably still the play, actually. Because next turn we can, like, play the Vile and the Thalia and Vile in the second Arbiter. Which says Steam Vents the Shocking in. So this might be a... Oh, it's a Wave Sifter. Okay. Fury? Sure. Pitching Winota. God, this deck's wild. Alright, Vile takes up to 2. So we're going to hold that to be able to Vile in an Arbiter in response to a fetch. Or a search effect of some description. Okay, even though they've got the 2 mana, we are still going to do this. Okay. Our opponent knows how to pay for Arbiter on Moto, which is good for them. If I try and land, I think I'm going to Field of Ruin them. Solitude, okay. So we'll just play out the Vile. Alright, get in for 4. The ability to Flicker Wisp. Do I just want to Flicker Wisp away a land? I probably do. I'll set an upkeep stop. Take away Robin Triumph. Could get punished here if they find a Fury, but that's fine. Opponent plays with Wooded Foothills. And their land comes back. So we'll tick up the new Vile. We will leave the old Vile on 3. Draw a land. So I could Flicker Wisp away a land to force them to pay the Arbiter tax to fetch. I think I'm better off just Flicker Wisping away a land in their turn. Let's go to combat. This is lethal over the next 2 turns. They didn't want to pay. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing again. Just take away the Rorgrim Triome. So they're smart here. Well, they've got this mana they're probably going to use to pay for the up tax. No, they just scoop it up. Alright, on to game number 3 of match number 5. Quickly looking at our sideboard. Nothing looks that interesting still. Skyclaves aren't like the worst. But I think I'd just rather... Like, I basically cut the 3 of them to bring in the 3 Relic Water, so I think I'm happy with that. Let's run it back. Well, we're going to mulligan this one. God, I think we have to mulligan this as well. It's just got no interaction, even though it's got the Forge Tender. These aren't like cards that interact in the matchup, so we'll mulligan. They kept their 6. Let's go to 4. Do I go to 3? No, I think I'll keep the 4. I'll get rid of Canopy, Field of Ruin. This isn't good by any means, but I can't, like, if I go to 3, I have to see, like, land, Drannith, and they have to not have removal for it. Alright, Cave and Pass. It's going to take away their upkeep stop. If they keep any half-playable hand, I'm just screwed here. Unless I top deck Drannith right now. Thalia would be fine. Drannith would be good. Vile is bad. Alright, Stoneforge, grab Keldra. And find it if we're dead. God, they even have Fury? That's messed up. But they don't have a 3rd land? Okay. We drew Relic Water, so I think here I want to play the Vile. And I'm just going to take away a Clue token. I suppose they'll just draw off the clue that I'm targeting, but surely they should be drawing here to try and find their land drops. That's interesting. I would have thought that like the clue was just less important than drawing this land. Maybe they don't have a Cascade spell. Oh, that's a good draw. Well, now they can't draw off their clue. Maybe I should have flickered the Relic Water and taken away their other clue. Certainly a line. Still nothing. Okay. Field of Ruin. Let's get in with both. Alright, let's Flicker Wisp. Take away the Goblin, I suppose. Alright, so they've got 2 permanents left. They hit a fetch. Okay. Sure. So there's a consideration to leave this file on 2 in case I draw specifically Arbiter. If I draw Flicker Wisp, I'll just flicker away another one of these knuckleheads. Yeah, I'm going to leave it on 2. Drew Flicker Wisp. I'm going to flicker away the plant now just so they can't block. Get in for 7, they're dead next turn. They can draw Fury to basically wipe my board. Surely they're going to pay the Arbiter tax and fetch here. I would imagine. No? I don't understand why they wouldn't though. Oh, in case I do have the Arbiter in hand. But I think they're just dead if I do, dead if I don't. They have the Fury. Okay. This is almost definitely killing this Arbiter. No, it's definitely killing 2 Flickers. Yeah, it's killing the Arbiter too. So yeah, there's no point to Ghost Quarter. So they'll just pay and then they'll crack their fetch. So they bought themselves a few turns. Still the Misty grabs Rorker and Trio. They didn't grab a green source. So I think I'm going to take out Kamigawa with the Field of Ruin on my turn. We are taking it up to 3 now. If I draw Arbiter, I'm just happy to cast it. If I draw Flick Wisp though, Draneth? Ooh, baby. Okay, let's take out the Kalni Garden. I suppose it's going to get a forest. I should have taken out Rogren. I'll play Draneth. Alright, and pass it back. They're on 4. What do they got? Okay, Talus Provisional. It's not bad for them. I'm going to leave the Vial on 3 for now. Do Solitude. Okay, I'm going to offer the trade here. If they don't trade this turn, they'll have to trade next turn. Yeah, they're trading, sure. So I think I'm just going to leave this Vial on 3, even though I've drawn the Solitude, because if I draw Flicker, so I might want to use it to protect this Draneth. Okay, they cracked Clue, played a tap land. Alright, we drew a land, so we've got the Solitude ready to go. So the Solitude's lethal next turn. If they try and kill Draneth, I can pop Canopy, hope to draw Flicker Wisp to flicker the Draneth. Imperial Recruiter. Yeah, it's fine. Let that resolve. I don't know what they're looking for here. Like, they can't get Fury or Solitude or anything. Deputy of Detention. Okay. Just passing, so... yeah, Solitude. Get rid of the Recruiter. If they gain 1 life up to 4 and I have 4 power. Alright, 2 and 3. We managed to crawl our way back into a not too embarrassing record. Let's go to the post-league wrap-up. Alright, so 2 and 3. Not the best record we could have gotten. We did lose to Blue Red, which is a matchup we haven't lost too much in the past. Nothing really has changed about it. We're down a Sanctifier, but they were just killing us with Murktide. So, I mean, Lion Sash main deck should have helped there, and it kind of almost did. The one interesting thing was that we lost to Affinity because their prototype, their Moonsnare prototype, scales so well into the late game now, which is really good for them. We did get unlucky and miss land drops. Putting Bascal on Caldera would have ended the game pretty effectively. The list felt fine. I might actually test without Arbiters. The Arbiters didn't really punish a lot in that league. And I think having Esper Sentinels would just give us better opening hands again. And then also to free up flex slots so we could run the Mold Skyclave again, because I did actually kind of miss Mold Skyclave in that league a little bit. I'm not sure, I might test again with this configuration, or I might spice it up a little. I will say this felt pretty good. It was just a land, but sometimes had upside. Like, obviously, like, our opponent was able to Welding Jar to protect their Ornithopter, but I still think the ability is pretty interesting. Like, maybe we just want 2 of these. I don't like getting punished by legendary lands, but it could be interesting. The rest of my mana felt fine. This, I mean, I think I misplayed in playing this as land rather than holding it up as a card to pitch to Solitude, so there is that. But I think, yeah, the list feels fine. I think Lion Sash, it was good enough main deck. It wasn't like crazy good, but main deck Gravehate is interesting. And again, like at worst, it's just a white card to pitch the Solitude. I the only reason I would want to move to the sideboard is to put more of the Skyclave back in main, but I think this is good enough that I think maybe we just want to run both. And as for the sideboard, like obviously like the Kataki and the Relic Waters, like as I expected, there are a few more artifact decks than normal. Didn't see Burn, so I'm not sure I need the Auriok Champions. I think we can, if we move to an S% build, we can potentially beat Burn without needing them. I would kind of like the extra Sanctifier back. Forge Tenders were good, like the matchups where I brought him in and did draw them, I would have been more than happy to draw them. Drownit's won us that last match. I think those matchups are so bad that having the 3 Drowns is just kind of necessary. I could see going down to 2, depending how the meta feels, trimming 1. And Revokers were fine. I could see cutting them again, but they do gum up some matchups. Maybe like because we're on the Kataki and the Relic Waters and stuff, we don't need them because Affinity's one of the bigger matchups where we'd want it. But I don't know what we want in our sideboard otherwise. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the new cards we play. They did get to show up a little here and there, which is cool. But yeah, let me know what you thought. And thank you for watching. I will, as always, put the link to my mono white 60 card Death Taxes primer in the description. I will be updating that with the new cards sometime in the next few days. So when you watch this video, it might not be updated yet, but I do intend to update that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye-zy.